What is up, everyone? So, if you guys have not noticed yet, yes, we're on the mediums now. I'm not going to be doing strictly easies anymore. I've done 100 of them. It's on my playlist. You can go to that playlist and enjoy. But we're going to be now trying to do these mediums. So I'm going to try and do 50 of these and then 25 hards. And then from that point onwards, I'm just going to start doing randoms I'm just going to start doing random questions after that. But right now we're on the medium arc of this chapter. So if you guys have been with me so far, we've been through 100 easy questions together. So now it's time for us to go through 50 mediums. Okay? So let's see what this question's about. Zigzag conversion. PayPal is hiring. The string PayPal is hiring is written in a zigzag pattern on a given number of rows like this. You may want to display this pattern in a fixed font for better legibility, and then read it line by line. Read line by line is pan apple zig year. Okay. Then it says, write the code that will take a string and make this conversion given a number of rows. Write the code that will take a string, make this conversion given a number of rows. Okay. This is the weirdest thing ever. I see why it's called zigzag. Okay, so it's going Z, 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 Z. So it's going, this is the Z pattern. Boom, that's a Z. Boom, 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 that's a Z. That's why it's called zigzag conversion. Okay, interesting. So the string PayPal is hiring. So the way I'm seeing this is whatever the number of rows is, it pretty much has. So for example, S is the string. S is the string as it is. PayPal is hiring, right? And it looks like they were given, this PayPal is hiring, nums rows 3. So they're given 3 rows. So it looks like what the zigzag thing is doing is it goes first row, second row, third row, second row, first row, second row, third row, second row, first row, second row, third row, second row, first row, second row. See what's going on? So what I'm going to do is, based on the number of rows, I'm going to create an array that generates the number of rows. Creates so one big array that contains subarrays equal to the number of rows. That's what I want to do. So let's go to the whiteboard. Y'all know me by now. Like, I just want to map out my ideas on the whiteboard. I know. But this person, but this other person is using this other AI generator tool, and it's so fancy, and it's like, I don't give a fuck, bro. I don't care. I'm gonna use this whiteboard, and it's gonna do the job. You see? So 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. And basically, this is how it works, right? This is just one array. And the way this array looks like, technically, it's this array, comma, array, comma, array. This is what this actually looks like. So when you go pay, pal, pay, what's called pal is, and then boom, we're hiring or whatever the fuck. So if you trace it, it's pay, pal, pa. So pay, pa, o is hiring. You see, it follows the zigzag pattern. So I need to create first something to fill. I need to create the container I want to fill. So this container is basically an array of subarrays equal to the number of rows given. It's like we see here, right? PayPal is hiring. We have 3 because the number of rows is 3. PayPal is hiring is 4. Now we get a bigger zigzag. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2. You see that? And that's basically how it works. Until you run out of string letters. So what I'm going to do is I want to create an array, so called final. So basically final, now I want to fill it with the number of rows, is empty arrays. So fill list with sublists, Python, list of sublists, create a list of sublists. Okay, so create a list of lists. Nope, I don't want this. list within a list. How do I create this? Okay, dot append. Use list comprehension. List of empty lists. Python. Create a list of empty lists. So 1, 2. For arbitrary linked lists, you can use, so this is list comprehension. Empty list for blank in range n. Do not use this. It will result in a list containing the same list object n times. Okay, so we don't want that. We want distinct objects. So we gotta go list comprehension. So list for blank in range n. List for blank. So num rows, because n is num rows. So if we go to Python Playground now, so at least now we're at a point where we have the structure that we want to fill up. Now we have to create the logic to fill up this structure. So if we have to go here, it's from another question. Let's clear it. So let's take this. Print x. So print x that n equals 4. See, so I get 1, 2, 3, 4, and then if n is equal to 3, 1, 2, 3. So basically that's what I'm trying to do here. List comprehension. So basically do what create this item for blank and range rows. List comprehension formula. So basically this is like a shorthand version of a for loop, basically. Python list comprehension consists of, okay, so what is the expression for element in list? If condition. So in range of list, in range n, there's no conditions here, so I can omit this if, and I could just use this portion here. Expression represents the operation you want to execute on every item within the iterable. So I want to create every item in the iterable. So this my list is my iterable, the overarching list, and every item I just want to have an empty list. Element refers to the variable. Each value taken from the variable. There's nothing. So this is why it remains blank. Iterable. Specify the sequence of elements you want to iterate through. So the range. So old list is the iterable. And then return the value of a list comprehension's new list containing the modified elements. So new list containing the modified elements. Okay, cool. One, 4, 9, 16, 25. Okay, so for x in numbers. Right, so instead of in numbers, I'm going in range. And instead of squaring everything, x squared 2 for x in numbers. It's performing an expression on this element, right? Since there's no element, this is blank, underscore. I'm just curious to see if it has an example where it uses an underscore. I guess that just means nothing happens. You don't perform any action. So this does what I want. I create my structure. Now the next step is I want to I'm at 16 minutes. Now I want to, so I'll give myself till half an hour for mediums. If I go to ChatGPT, then as we do 50 to 100 of these, I'll get better. Let's see. So now I want to fill up each one. Final for blank for things. So now I want to figure out how to add letters. So I have to go through each element in the string. So for letter in S, number of rows is at min 1. S consists of English letters, lowercase and uppercase. Okay, that doesn't really matter. S is length. So the string length, number of rows is at least 1. String length is at least 1. Now it's going to be letter. Okay, what if I do a counter? Because that's got a, and then I go 4. It's a 2-dimensional array. So for example, it's 4 rows. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4. When I equals counter, we need some sort of zigzag pattern. How the fuck do I create this? I don't know. For I in S. For I in S. PayPal is hiring. Num rows. Rows 4. For I in S. So I'm going to create something called counter, which just counts, which just tells you what position, or I'll call it str position. Str pause. For I in S. So now it's going to be for I in final. So what row am I on? If I equals the number of rows, then I want it to start decreasing. Str position, and then I want to go row count equals 0. Str position is 0. So for I in final, then I want to go for J. Oh, but there's no array index. So what I have to do is I do have to use the string. So I have to use the string as the reference. So for I in range len s, that gives me the index of each item in the string going from 0 to len s minus 1. Okay, so now I have to create a row counter. So for I in range len s string, what I'm trying to do is figure out how to add it to each row now. So for I and for j, oh, so PayPal is hiring, and then it just goes like this. So pin ALS. So then he just joins them or whatever. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I get my structure that I want to fill. I get my string position, which I'm gonna take out. But I'm gonna have row count. So final I. So 0 goes to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. I think it's just ordered to be a zigzag, but, and I see why, but what's it called? You could just stack it back up. So it's going to be final I. I just have to figure out how to go flip from back and forth. So 0 to 4, 4 to 0. So final I dot. So final is the array at position I. So final 0 dot append, final 1 dot append. Right. Final 2 dot append. Oh, finalize is going to be row count. Because it's got to keep going along the string. I want to do one pass of the string and keep adding. So final row count append I. So final dot append row count si. Then I want to keep counting up, so at least I can go PAYP. So row count this is going to be while. So if row count is less than or equal to num rows. Keep doing this. So add the element to that array, increment the row. Add the element to array, increment the row till you hit the last row. Else so basically once you hit this row, I can create a true false to say whether it's at an endpoint or not. So endpoints are 0 and n-1. So endpoint, I'm going to say false. Until it hits 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I append. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So 0, 1, 2, 3, that's n minus 1. And endpoint is false because it doesn't go to n minus 1. You add, then append. Then you add, then append. Then you add, then append. Then you add. So if row count equals, and then it's going to be n. I'm just trying to do it in my mind. It's going to be if row count is equal to n minus 1, so num rows minus 1. So if we're on the last one, else, now endpoint equals true. So when I get to the final row, I want to make endpoint equals true, so it hits the end. Then instead of adding one like I did for each row, I want to subtract one. Then I want to append, subtract, append, subtract, append, subtract until I hit 0. So false, endpoint equals true, and then row count minus equals 1. So now it adds it to this row. So it goes 1, 2, 3, fourth row. Now it goes third row, second row, first row, right? So it flips. So it's basically now this is true. So this will go here. So final row count dot append s at I, because it keeps going through the string. So it's going to be PayPal is hiring. So it keeps going through the string. It doesn't stop. So PayPal.append s.I, and then if row count equals 0, if the row count is not equal to 0, it keeps subtracting. So it's going to go, so it's 3, 2, 1, 0. So if it's not equal to 0, if the row count is not equal to rows num n minus 1, so if it is, if it's less than, if it's not equal to rows num, so 1, 0, 1, 2, num's rows minus 1. So if it's not equal to 3, so 0, 1, 2, 3. So if it is equal to 3, I still want to append it. So it's going to be, it starts at 0, so append. Row count is 0, add 1. Boom. So now I'm here. I didn't add anything yet. Append, so A, add 1. Append Y, add 1. Append P, so now it's equal to it, because I'm appending first and then checking conditions. So now I flip all this, and then I get to here. I append. Now my endpoint is true. So now I go to the next letter, A. Now it goes to the else condition, because this is not false. This is not false anymore, it's true. So then I append A. If row count is not equal to 0, So then I want to do row count minus 1. Row count minus equals 1. Right. Then I get to this row. Append L. Row count minus equals 1. Append I. Row count minus equals 1. Append I. No. I get to L, which is 1. So I append this. Minus equals 1. Append I. But it is at 0. So if row count is now at 0, so else so this part's already appended. Endpoint equals false, and now it counts back up again. And then it'll be row count plus equals 1. So it goes from 0, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 0, and it's going to keep doing that until you're out of string elements. That's basically what it does here. That's what this whole block does. All this whole block's function is to figure out when we get to an end. So if we're at the 0 point, add up to the end. So we're at the last row. Then we flip it. Now I want to go backwards. So I want to go this till we hit 0. Then I want to go back to 4. This till we hit 4. Then I want to go back to 0. This. So this endpoint true tells us when to flip directions of going up and down. So basically, once we have that, we now have our array of strings. We now have our array of strings. So string element at I. So now we have, for example, we'll have 3 arrays or 4 arrays, and now I just add that together. So it would be 2 big joins. So basically return. So 4, and then it would be this, return. And then it would be join. And then join the inner arrays. So join final. I might have to iterate because I don't know what to name it inside final, so it'd be for I in final. I want to join all these arrays into one string. Oh, what if I do this? I'm just curious. If I go list, I can go directly to string. And then just join each item. So let's say dog. D. O. G, right? If I want to typecast it, so let's say X is str n. So I just want to typecast this list into a string. Can I do that? dog. Print x, strn. strn. Now I have to join it. So basically I have to join. So for I in length final, final I equals, I'm basically converting the I element, so final I dot join final I. So each element in final, I'm joining and creating strings, and then I just dot join final. And I combine all the strings. So for example, dog x, and then I just go dot join n dog. So let's say it was ddOOGG. You just get this, and that's basically what I'm doing here. I'm turning every single element into a string in this array that was so right now I created arrays of each item. Now I'm turning all those arrays into strings, so it's gonna be pin alsig yar and pi, and then you get pin alsig yar pi, and then I just join them all together at the end. So let's try this. This should work. I'm pretty confident. What? Invalid syntax. Oh, colon. I hope I didn't miss that. No, it should work. Yeah, all the logic is sound. So as I said, right, so first I want to create the structure to add everything. So wait, let's submit it first, and then I'll walk you guys through. Runtime error. Maybe it takes too long, is that why? But the logic is correct. It passes everything here. Passes everything here. Passes everything here. Right? S, ABC. List index out of range. Okay, maybe that's why. Okay, so what's causing it to go out of range? Where is it going out of range? So nums rows -1. Num rows -1. That's the length of the array. Because I have num rows is the number of rows, but I have to create an array of subarrays. So this would be one big array, like here, but this would be element 0, 0, 1, 2, even though it's 3 elements, 1, 2, 3, right? It goes at 0 indexed. So I have to go nums rows -1, so basically less than or equal to num rows. Once I get to the 4th row, that's where it's going out. So row count equals num rows -1. It should be -1. I think that's where it's going wrong. Run it. Pass. Now it should pass. Runtime error again. Why? List index out of range. What's going out of range now? Num rows -1. And then if row count, I'll say is greater than or equal to 0. Let's say if row count is greater than 0. Let's try that. That should pass. Let's try it again. There we go. It was just like a little calibration issue. So we didn't even need ChatGPT, right? It's just a calibration issue with the bounds, right? So I had it as not equal to 0, but I don't want it to equal to 0. I want it to be just above 0. So when it does equal 0, I flip, right? So if it does equal 0, I go to my else condition and flip. You see what I'm trying to do here? So basically what I'm trying to do is first, so now that I've passed all the tests and I passed the submission and I beat 31.76% of other solutions, I'm going to quickly walk through this. So it's going to be, I have a string. I'm given a string, it could be any string, right? It could be any length, right? The thing I want to do first is I want to create a zigzag pattern. So if you look here, you have PAY. So PayPal is hiring. PayPal is hiring. So it goes, this is the zigzag pattern. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So now I want to mimic this. But it says, they give us one caveat. It's written in a zigzag pattern on a given number of rows. So the given number of rows is 3. So you have to create a zigzag in 3. Right? Then they take the same string and they give you a zigzag with number 4. It's the exact same string with 4. So now you notice the pattern. It goes all the way down till it hits the 4th row, then it comes all the way up, back to 0, all the way down till it hits the till it hits the 4th row, all the way up till it goes back to 0. Right? So it's something that's the zigzag pattern. Up, down, up, down, up, down. And the reason it's zigzagging is because the string keeps going, right? Because you keep going to the next element of the string. So first element string 0, second, so 1, second element, 2, third element, 3, fourth element, 2, fifth element, 1, sixth element, 0, seventh element. You see, it keeps going. The string keeps going, but you keep going up and down in this pattern. So what I'm trying to do is first I want to create the structure to add it, right? So if I look at this intuitively, it's just a one array with a bunch of subarrays. So if you look here, all it is this. All it is this one array, and then I create a bunch of rows. 1, 2, all the way up until n rows. N rows. So that's what's here. 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Then it'll be 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So once you do that, once you have the structure, so I did that by doing a list comprehension. So basically I said, create an array and fill it with the number of, so fill it with empty arrays equal to the number of rows. So if I have 3, fill it with 3 empty arrays. If I have 4, fill it with 4 empty arrays. Okay, so now I have the structure ready. Now it's ready to be filled, right? So now I need to figure out how to get the zigzag pattern, right? So intuitively, when I say intuitively, I mean look at the problem on the page, and if without any code, try and solve it. So all I'm looking at is the string's going 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it's going back 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you keep seeing that, what that's telling you is you have to start at the beginning, and then at some point it flips and goes backwards, and then it flips again and goes backwards. So we need something to increment it, and we need something to change direction and decrement it. So first, that's what I did with this if-else condition. This whole if condition is if I wanted to go increment all the way till the end. And then this else condition is when I hit the end, I want to change direction and decrement, right? So what I did here was nums row minus 1. So basically nums row minus 1 is the last row. So I'll keep going up until I hit the end. And then endpoint is false, because I call it endpoint because 4 is the end, right? So I'm not at the endpoint, so it's false, 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 false. Okay, now it's true. I'm at 4, now it's true, right? Now I want to change direction. So I flip, and then I go, what's it called? Greater than 0, right? So first there's rows num minus 1, because that's the endpoint, and then 0 is the baseline. So I want to go decrement, 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 decrement till I hit 0. Now endpoint is false again. I flip it, right? And now that tells me I can increment again, because it's false. So now I go back to 4, and once I hit 4, this becomes true. I hit the endpoint, and I go back to 0. So that's what generates my zigzag pattern. So once I do all of this, I basically fill up my structure of rows with all the letters corresponding to the zigzag pattern, right? So it's gonna be pin, alsig, yar, and pi in my 4 rows. Or if I have 3 rows, it's gonna be pan, apple, sig, and year, right? So then now that I have this structure filled up, I have to now combine all this together somehow. So what I'm going to do first is combine all this in itself. Right now these are just arrays of elements. So I turn that array and squish them into strings. So basically, let's say, what's it called? Let's say I have dog, and these are all strings, by the way. Then I have cat, let's just do 2 for now. And it's in one big array. So let's say it's a 2-row array here. So I have dog, cat, so it's 2 rows. Right? What I'm doing first is in this is I'm going for each row, turn it into a string, combine everything in the string. So now I'm going to have, this is going to turn into, the array is going to stay the exact same, just that this array is going to turn into a string. So now it's going to be dog. I'm using join to join each element together to create the string dog. I'm doing the same thing to create the string cat. So now I just have an array of 2 strings. First I had an array of 2 arrays. Now I have an array of 2 strings with the exact same stuff. So all I'm doing is turning these arrays inside the big array. This is the big array. This is the big array. In 2 strings. So dog turns into dog. Cat turns into cat. This string. Right? And now, in the final element, I just want to combine everything into one big string. So I take my big array, and now it becomes dog, cat. And that's my answer. So I take all this, fill up the structure, all this here. So first I create the structure, fill the structure, right? I fill the structure. So first I create the structure, which is, let's say for this example it's 2. So these are 2 empty arrays. Create, boom, fill. So the create it's a structure of empty rows. Fill the rows with all the letters in the original string. turn each row into a string. So right now a row is DOG. All these letters are separate. I want to combine them into one string. So dog. I want to turn DOG into dog. So I basically combine all the letters. Combine all the letters cat. Right? So fill. Combine row elements. And then combine all the rows. So now that I have dog and cat separately, I want to combine them together. So dog cat is my final. Combine all. Combine all strings. And there you have it. Join.final. So I do a join inside and I do a join outside. Combines all the strings together to make one big string. So PayPal turns all these, and then I combine all these strings together to get Pana Palsigger or whatever the hell. Palsigger. So, and if I had a dog cat or a dog and cat, it would be dog cat. So yeah, it passes all the test cases, and it passes and it beats 30% of, it passes the submission, so it beats 31.76% of submitted elements. So if you like that explanation, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, comment below. Knologist out.